All right, Jesus. Somehow we've pulled this off.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Time will tell.
We have our notes. Please welcome to the show. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. I have a new format, a new setup. I got some special guests with me today. Sniper Jesus, who you guys already know.
The usual.
Mr. Morgan Warren. And
Good to see you.
Mr. Chris Gessner, good friend of mine. How long have I known you? Like 10 fucking years? Something like that?
Close-ish, yeah.
I don't know, like a lost time. So, so we're going to talk about home defense. It's a popular topic these days in the media in Canada. A series of incidents have occurred. So, yeah, we're talking home defense. Home defense 101 for Canadians. And I have a panel of experts here. You know their backgrounds. They have varying opinions, so it's going to get right the fuck off the rails and out of hand. We're definitely going to do our best to try to provide you guys practical guidance and advice based on our experience on how to properly protect yourself. And we'll talk a little bit about self-defense. I got this broken down into categories. I'm going to read them to you right now. First one is understanding the law. This is not a podcast about the Criminal Code of Canada, Section 34. We're going to touch on it a little bit, but we're not going to get too far into it.
It's not legal advice.
No, we are not. We're not fucking lawyers, and nor are we legal experts. Although there's a couple barrack room lawyers, I'm sure, who could help you out. So that's not what this is. We'll get into understanding your environment and how it relates to potential threats. We'll get into understanding personal factors in relation to responding to a threat. That means you as an individual. And we're going to touch on home invasion protection, passive and non-passive, kinetic versus non-kinetic. And then we'll get into the meat of it, the self-defense piece. So first of all, the official opposition leader, Pierre Poilievre, wants to come up with, what do you call it? The stand on guard. But there's no meat to it. It's just a fucking bunch of hot air.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
It's just talking shit. But it's like you're not really changing the law. He's just trying to say, hey, we need to be better. And he's right. We do need to be better.
He's actually given a little bit of context to what he's saying with regards to change and his law, how he wants to modify Section 34.
Yeah.
So that way there's a presumption of innocence for if you're trying to defend yourself in your home, specifically in your home, not outside of your home, but inside your home, there's presumption of innocence. So that way you're not being dragged through the court system.
Something that would parallel what is called castle law, which is called castle doctrine in the United States. We'll circle back to that. So let's just jump into the law without getting into the law. Basically, Cole's Notes version is you're allowed to use, this is the problem, reasonable force to protect yourself or your property, right? That's what it says.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Mostly yourself.
Mostly yourself.
Not necessarily your property.
Yeah.
Your property may be inside your house, but not even. Well, I mean, and it depends on who you're talking to.
It really does. Like there was a dude that shot some guy stealing his truck, and originally he got off, and then the Supreme Court put him in fucking jail for 6 years. Like, no, you can't blow somebody away. So, and reasonable force is loosely defined. It's there's like 9 criteria, but we're not going to get into the law. It's up to you. I'll put a link down below to the Criminal Code of Canada, Section 34. You need to understand it and read it. Even the lawyers can't explain it. It's all over the map. So they want to change it. So the United States has something called castle doctrine. Basically, what that means is you will be charged with a criminal offense, but you use that as your defense. So in Canada, so we're very, very clear here. Very clear. This is the biggest takeaway, so we can fucking move on to practicality, is if you defend yourself and cause bodily harm or kill somebody breaking into your house, the police don't care about the self-defense shit. That's the courts that decide that.
Yeah, for sure. They're charging you.
They're charging you. You're going to be charged with, could be assault or various forms thereof. It could be manslaughter. It could be second-degree murder. But you will be charged. Or you will be detained, you go to jail, potentially charged, and then you have to navigate the court system. You'll need a lawyer, it could disrupt your life, blah, blah, blah. I'm not turning anybody off from defending themselves. I'm saying that's the law in this country right now. So it's not the police, it's not like the fucking movies where the sheriff shows up and old Jed blew away a bunch of friggin' gangsters that were trying to break into his house, and then the cops just leave and you carry on with your life. That's not what happens. What happens is you will be charged. So I'm going to read a case study out here. There's a billion of them out right now, every day. I don't know if it's the news feed, the algorithm. It's just like there's all this home invasion shit, mostly in Ontario and Toronto area.
Well, I think they're just putting it out there. There's so many of them, they can't hide it.
There's a lot.
You cannot
yeah.
bury it. There's so many of them, and people are just screaming about it.
So one case study, I could have did 10, but we don't want to turn it into that. And this is from several years ago. There was a dude named Cameron Gardner, was home watching a movie with his girlfriend early in January 22, 2019, when 3 masked men burst through the back door armed with a loaded sawed-off shotgun. Right? So buddy's at home. This is in Ontario. He's just watching a fucking movie with his girlfriend, and dudes bust in with a sawed-off shotgun, like broke through the threshold. Okay? One wore a clown mask, the other a balaclava, and there was a third guy with a toque and a scarf pulled up to his eyes. The intruders bound the couple's wrists and ankles with zip ties, and then tied Gardner's dog to him, and then took turns guarding him with a gun while ransacking an upstairs bedroom looking for pot and cash belonging to his son. Right? So people have broken into his house. They've restrained them, and they have him at gunpoint. This is where it gets good. Gardner, now a 59-year-old carpenter, was charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder last November. This is several years ago. A preliminary hearing judge in Barrie, Ontario, knocked these charges down to manslaughter. So what I didn't say was he actually broke loose of these restraints, got the shotgun, and like took, I think, 2 of these dudes out or whatever, like fucking did the right thing. And our system turns him into the bad guy and puts his ass in jail. Okay? Well, justice finally prevailed. He spent 6 months in custody and then was released under house arrest under very harsh conditions. That's from his lawyer. So the guy, let's rewind this and unpackage this. People break into his house with shotguns, or a shotgun. I don't know how many it was. Fucking zap strap the guy, put him at gunpoint, ransack his house. He breaks free, shoots him. Like, that's fucking Hollywood. That's badass. Good on him. And then he goes to jail.
I want to be friends with this guy.
And the judge, out of the kindness of his fucking heart, downgrades it from second degree murder to manslaughter. And Buddy has to eat 6 months in the bin until the court, or the Crown prosecutor goes, yeah, we're going to drop the charges. Like, what the fuck, man?
Right?
So there's several other. The latest was a crossbow thing, and the guy stabbed him. There's a whole bunch of shit going on. So we're not here to get into the law. I suggest you read the law and understand what the law says.
Yeah, good luck with
right
that.
now, it's not in your fucking favor. I can tell you how much. We're going to focus on like what you can do to minimize that. And Chris is, he's got an extensive background and experience to help flow this process along, and things you can do to basically, I think we agreed, is not be a target, not become a target. I think we'll get into environment first, because everybody's environment's different. It really depends, like, where you live. Understanding your environment and how it relates to potential threats. One, like your community. Where's your home?
Yeah, where do you live? Do
you live in the fucking ghetto? Do you live downtown? Do you live in an acreage, a farm? Because rural crime in this province in Alberta, where we live, is fucking really bad. So,
in a lot of areas. Yeah,
so like let's get into environment, because the word I'm going to use is how you respond to potential threat. Like, what's your threat level look like based on where you live? So if you live downtown in an apartment, you're probably, or in an apartment anywhere,
you don't have a lot of standoff, so to speak.
No, but the likelihood of someone breaking into your apartment is a lot lower in a house, because the bad guy, is it? I don't know. The bad guy's going to get through a door. So let's talk about apartments first.
So when you think about it, I mean, if you're in a house, there's all kinds of different places. There's people all over outside, but when you're in an apartment, anybody can come in there because they're visiting someone else, but now they have cover to get at your front door.
Well, that's true.
You know what I mean?
But I mean,
and another thing
if you live in a 200 suite apartment building, you're one of 200.
they're
And
not
like
as
bad
secure as
guys
you
don't like
think.
fucking elevators. They're not going to take it to the 30th floor to steal your fake Rolex.
Some bad guys will
It
climb the balconies.
Yeah.
And that's why for those on the 4th, 5th, 6th, 11th floor,
Yeah.
don't leave your sliding door open because you think that, well, there's a screen and nobody's going to climb up there.
Yeah, because I'm on the
'cause they
6th
do.
floor. Because some
100%
tweaker
they
who
do.
really saw that TV you just marched in from Best Buy, they might want that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the social condition in your neighborhood? Is it deteriorating? As a lot of communities are right now. Like downtown Edmonton is a fucking shit show, right? Since COVID, homelessness, drugs, mental problems, whatever. It's rough down there. So you need to look at where do I live, and then we'll get into the type of dwelling. Let's just talk about where is your community. Does it have people in it that are like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like less well-to-do.
Are they the demographic?
Are you in a rough fucking neighborhood?
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're in a shitty neighborhood,
a low income neighborhood.
I don't even know low income is a word, man, because I'm not in a low income neighborhood. We still have fucking problems here.
Well, but that's the thing. It's everywhere in
Right?
the city.
And
It's
you
everywhere.
there's
It
a
spreads.
I know there's a website in every city to look at the crime,
For sure.
right? So go to your local city's website, Google crime in that area, and look to see where the hot spots are. Look where has there been break-ins in my neighborhood? Has there been cars broken into? Like all that shit. That's accessible information.
Yeah, it is.
Through your city. So that's the first thing. Is like, where do I live? Because this is going to help push forward how you can, adapt to that threat, right?
I mean, that being said, though, Chris, I mean, if you live in a shit neighborhood, you live in a shit neighborhood. I mean, what are you going to? I mean, unless you have the.
Well, yeah, we're not telling anybody to move. We're just
no.
saying, look,
But even if you were to move in the best neighborhood in the country, you're not immune.
No,
from
like
this shit happening, right?
some rich guy last year fucking almost got blown away or whatever. Like that doesn't
Well,
make you
and
immune.
That
No.
could make you more of a target.
It can make you more of a
yeah,
target.
because now you're well to do. I mean,
Right.
and if someone's going to break into a house, like, well, let's make it worthwhile.
And I'm
Break
not
into this
saying
guy's
I'm not
house.
saying if you live in a low income neighborhood, you're higher probability you're going to face home invasion. That's not true. It's not true at all. But
Could be the opposite. You might be at less risk because you got nothing worth stealing.
yeah, you got
100%, man.
you got a piece of shit car parked out in your front lawn.
Yeah,
Maybe.
no one's going to rob your 72 Pinto.
No.
Your house
so,
is all ramshackled. They're going to go into the neighbors because it looks pristine.
So let's just park the whole income levels and whatever and focus on, okay, all right, here's the neighborhood I live in. It's a rough neighborhood because the crime stats say it's a rough neighborhood. Right? Just facts. My neighbor
Sure.
got broken into or he didn't. Or nobody ever got broken into or they did. Whatever, right?
Yeah, okay.
So that'll help you adjust your posture, which we'll get into what posturing looks like later. The type of dwelling you live in will be significant. Do you live in a house with multiple points of entry? So my house has, here, dear bad guys, here you go. Front door, back door, 2 basement windows, 3 accessible, semi-accessible windows. It'd be a challenge on the main level, and then you'd have to fucking get a ladder, right? So I think about those things. If you're an apartment, single door, right? One way in. Some apartments have 2 doors, but fucking not many. Are you on an acreage?
Well, and even
That gets into demographics like response time from cops. We'll touch on that in a minute. But
even if you're in the city, like what does your neighborhood look like? Is it a lot of escape routes out of there?
Yeah.
For a crook.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I live in a cul-de-sac. Bad guys don't like cul-de-sacs because there's only one way in and one way out.
And there's a lot of eyes looking at it.
And a lot of eyes looking inwards, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're on a main street, like I had a lot of friends, they had problems with the fucking Amazon bandits, right? Stealing their shit but their buddies on a main drag. They roll up, grab their shit and fucking keep going.
Easy.
So cul-de-sacs to me, theoretically, are safer because of ingress and egress for the bad guy. That's the type of shit. But you can't control all this. Like you live where you live. So it is what it is. Urban, rural, that stuff's going to, how big's your yard? How many trees are in it? How lit up is it? We're going to talk about this stuff coming up soon. What's your proximity to law enforcement facilities? I'd rather live further away because we'll fucking talk about that later on. A lot of you need law enforcement, and some of us do not.
Well, that itself can be a deterrent, though.
It can be. So there's this mega cop shop just up the road, that new North Side
Yeah.
thing, overpriced, fucking fancy thing they built.
Glass palace up there.
The big glass palace. So it's a big giant cop shop right up the road. So there's always cops coming and going around this neighborhood. You know, those types of things help. And understanding your response time, which is something we'll talk about later. It's an old adage, you know, when the cops take minutes and you have seconds, and they actually take hours, but that's not their fault. It's their funding and all that other shit, right? So it's understand where the point of what we're trying to get here is you need to know, does where I live and the type of dwelling I have, how is that going to impact how I'm going to protect myself, my family, and my property? And we're going to get to that. So we will circle back. But these are factors you need to think about. If you're in a rural area like my dad, fucking cops aren't going to be there for like an hour, man. Like the nearest police to where he lives, I think, is Fort Saskatchewan, because he's in Bruderheim.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Fucking who knows, man. So like rural's a scary, that's a whole different thing.
A lot of cover of darkness.
Huge.
All kinds of access, egress.
No immediate neighbors.
Yeah.
Like the nearest neighbor is a fucking half a K down the road or whatever.
Isolation.
Right? Yeah.
Isolation
So
is
you're
not
like,
always good.
they really need to.
I mean, it'd be good for me. I mean, I'm very comfortable
Yeah,
with it.
you'd be good. You'd be fine.
Well, that's another thing.
6
You know, if you
minutes.
want to look at some criminal stuff, some code, if you look at the firearm storage laws, there's Section 5, I think, 5.2, where it says, you know, in the city, obviously, we got to have, you know, there's storage laws. You got to have your shit locked up.
Yeah.
Well, you can have it temporarily out for a predator defense. What kind of predator? I don't know.
I don't know.
The 2-legged kind or the 4-legged kind?
There you go.
Doesn't specify.
Doesn't specify.
Nope.
Predator's a predator.
Predator.
I never understood those laws anyway. Like, and I've talked to friends that were 30-year RCMP. They're like,
It's because those laws
you
are
can have your fucking, like, I can have a pistol. It's in there, my care and control in my house.
Yeah.
Like, if I have to have it locked up all the time, how do I clean it?
Well, no kidding.
Right?
You can't. Don't do that.
Throw a bunch of break free in the gun locker and fucking close the door and hope it all works out. Like, no, it's my gun. I'm not advocating you walk around your house with a 45 strapped to your hip, but I'm saying, in my opinion only, this is not the law, just opinion for everybody out there, a firearm in my home, and we're jumping ahead because we're going to talk guns last because everybody's chomping at the bit. What kind of gun should I fucking buy? Like, no, let's slow down.
Some people
But
should not.
probably not one at all.
firearms in my
Clown.
care and control.
Yeah.
Like that's it. So anyways. So yeah, you need to really consider your environment first. And that's social and economical conditions. Check those websites to look at what the crime stats are. You know, we're going to jump into this. Is there a community watch program? Is my apartment secure? Is it well lit up? When we get into the next segment, we'll talk about what that looks like and our thoughts on how you actually get into the passive and non-passive, kinetic, non-kinetic ways to defend yourself and how to respond to threats. I've switched to rye here because the last part of this is going to be fucking heated. I know it is.
Getting thick now.
Going to get thick. Got opinions. This is an opinionated show, not it's factual with a lot of opinion in it. So you got to bear with us. But we're having a good time. So we're
Based on true events.
We're based on true events. We're getting into understanding personal factors in relation to responding to a threat. I want to talk about your physical condition and limitations, your level of training. What's your family look like? Number, how many people in your family? What are their ages? Do they have special conditions? We'll wrap that all up with a fight or flight attitude, which we're going to definitely tie it back to that when we get into actual use of force. Some of the things you need to consider prior to, developing your big plan of attack is, what are your conditions? What's your age? What is your physical fitness level? Are you an 80-year-old granny home, living alone? Are you a fit young man with training, unarmed combat training, military training, blah, 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 blah? Do you have any physical disabilities? Whatever. These are the things you need to consider prior to the next segment. because I'll tell you right now, I'm going to jump a little ahead. The best thing you have in your arsenal in home defense, other than the tiered system we're going to talk about, is probably this. So before, you really need to understand your level of fitness and your level of training, mental and physical. You guys agree with that?
Sure.
For sure.
That's it. Morgan's like, no, point and shoot,
Well-
point and click interface, man. Fucking do her. Right.
Well, but we really are in a very different environment than States.
Well, and exactly. I want to focus on our environment.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's
in Canada,
it's
you
fucking
should-
different down there.
Yeah.
In Canada, you should really focus on cardio because you're probably better off just running away.
And you are really at the end of
Which
the
is
day. I don't want
absolutely
to
ridiculous.
jump ahead. Although I was a little bit disappointed in you said that to me as chief of police in Toronto.
Yeah.
What the
somewhere
fuck did he
in
say?
Ontario. He said, "Yeah, just comply. Just comply.
Just comply.
Whatever they need, whatever they're
Yeah.
asking, comply."
I don't
craziness.
think I don't agree with that. And yeah, that's some Alberta redneck shit coming out maybe, but like
No, you can-
No, because even
you're
down,
just fucking opening the door.
but even in very liberal, Toronto, Greater Toronto area, they're like, "No, what are you talking about?
No.
that's just
That's
bananas."
wrong. You're just inviting. You wrote a letter to the bad guys going, "Hey, go do what you want." We just told the people to comply.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Don't comply. And I'm talking out of two sides of my mouth when I say that, because there are certain situations where your Samsung fucking 75-inch TV is not worth dying, right? Like there are certain situations where you should just fucking get out.
But Chris, there's the problem. Like you just said, like your 75-inch Samsung TV is not worth dying for. Well, maybe the criminal should hoist that aboard.
You think?
No. I agree with that. I'm saying it goes back to my point. If you're that 75-year-old lady alone who can't defend herself or whatever, or you're in a wheelchair, fucking whatever it is, like, no, just get the fuck out of there, man. You can get a new TV. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But if, again, it comes down to your dynamic.
If you
do
can
you have
get out
kids?
of
Do you have kids? Do you have a wife?
Yeah.
I don't know if that guy coming through my door is there to steal my Citizen fucking Eco Drive watch, or if he's fucking jacked up on drugs.
If he's
So
coming for rape,
or he's coming for rape. There was a rape thing.
There was.
Right? Just the other day. I don't know that. I don't have the time, right? You have literally seconds or less to make a decision. So I don't have the time. I'm not saying what to do, but you don't have the time to calculate it. So my assumption, just me in my opinion, is it's a threat to my life. And I'll respond accordingly because I'm capable, physically capable. I can handle the fight or flight shit. We'll come to that. So I'll respond that way. That's me. Maybe you're not that person. Maybe it's like I have a means of egress. It makes the most sense to get the fuck out. Right? So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying there's no right or wrong answer here because it's going to depend on your circumstance. It's going to depend on your ability to respond to a threat. And it'll depend on how many other people. Do you have pets? Do you have family? Do you have means of egress? Like in this house, like where we are right now, we're upstairs in my studio. My staircase, I have one staircase that goes downstairs, 3 bedrooms up, and it points to the front door, which is probably where the bad guys might come in. They might go to the back.
This is where you're going to throw the paint cans, right?
This is where the
And
fucking,
the marbles.
yeah, man, Home
Marbles
Alone,
on
the
the
marbles
stairs.
on the fucking paint can coming down and shit.
the hot iron.
I should have got Macaulay Culkin instead of you. Right? How do you
been
defend
better.
your house, man? So, I have limited options, even if I wasn't adequately and competently trained to react to threats, just because I'm bottlenecked. Like I got a fatal funnel fucking going down my stairs. So I have to think about that.
Yeah, but for me, I'm looking at that fatal funnel like it's a fatal funnel for the person coming up the stairs. Like,
Yeah.
No,
you know.
and I understand that because you've already committed to that. And I'm trying to put it nicer, like less fucking aggressive.
But let's
I'm going max aggression.
how rightly so.
which is yeah,
Rightly
me
so.
too.
But let's talk about that old lady or that single mom who's
That's the
100,
thing.
100
That's
pounds.
the difference.
So how do you make your place the place he doesn't want to go?
And we're gonna
Yeah,
get to
right?
that, right? Because this is why we're covering this first. It feels like we're doing shit backwards, but we're not, because those conditions, your conditions, physical, age, all that shit
100%.
drives what we're going to get into next. We've kind of covered, like, you have to do a self-assessment. Like, am I able to, if it comes down to the wire, defend myself? But, so this is the crux of the show. Home invasion prevention, passive / non-kinetic. We're going to get to worst case scenario last, because that's going to create the most fucking drama. Passive means all the shit I can do, as Chris alluded to earlier, to be not a target. So I have a checklist. You got some notes? I'm going to go through.
Yeah, go through your checklist.
I'll just go through my checklist. This is some
And let's
shit
talk
I
about
threw
it, yeah.
together, and we'll talk about it, right? So I'm going to read this. I should wear my fucking reading glasses. I might not see the bad guy coming in, but I'll fucking get him when he comes in. Okay, so this is in a few categories. So first, physical security. First of all, before I read this out, what this is about is making yourself not a target, right? And it's a tiered system.
Yeah.
So when I get into physical security, use solid core or metal exterior doors. Well, you don't always have that option. But
Well, I just seen a video the other day. Somebody, now I don't know what the hell he was doing. It was pretty sure it was an Edmonton. Just threw a big rock through the glass front door.
well, that's a problem. I have a glass window on my door. I got a window beside it, so I could put a steel door in, but it's not the door, it's the fucking frame,
Yeah. Well, sure.
right?
So you're right. I got rid of
That's
the
what it
glass,
was.
the big glass door. I got rid of that, put
Yeah.
a steel door, and then reinforced not even the frame, but it's just the screws that anchor the frame into the
Sure,
actual
there's ways. Like,
building.
reinforce your door. Again, I'm not saying do all these things, but these are things you can do.
Get a door arcade.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Yeah, man. Reinforced door frames with strike plates and long screws. There you go, reinforced screws. Lock all windows, including basement and second story ones. Add window security film, bars or sensors. So security systems, obviously the big one. Use dowels or rods and sliding windows in your basement. So you know your basement, most people's basement's got a sliding window. Well, put a chunk of wood in there so you can't open the fucking
Or your
thing.
balcony door, your
Your
deck
balcony door is the same thing. If you get a sliding door,
Yeah.
do that. Keep garage doors locked at all times. There's a lock button on every automatic garage door opener. There's a lock thing. So like somebody can't
Slide
scramble a
it.
code and
No.
open the fucking thing.
Don't leave your remote in your car.
Oh,
Where
that's
they
a good
can
one.
see it.
Fuck, don't leave your insurance and registration
Don't
with your
leave that.
address on it.
Yeah. Your
But yeah,
identity.
don't leave your garage door remote in your car, because they'll just break into your truck and then hit the button, which and then your garage door is open, and then if you don't lock the garage door, like the door that goes in your house from your garage, assuming it's an attached garage, in they go. No alarm sensor is going to go off. Cover your garage windows so intruders can't look inside. These are just a handful of physical things. Lighting and visibility. Install motion sensors, lights around entry points. This is probably one of the biggest,
Right.
easiest, cheapest things you can do.
Yeah.
You can go down to Home Depot, Amazon, get motion sensor lights, timers, like all my shit on timers, even my interior lights that go on at this time, go off at this time, even when I'm not there.
Well, even with that, set them random.
And set them random, not
always
especially if you're
the
going to
same
go
time,
away,
especially
right?
if you're away.
Especially if you're going to go away. Keep your pathways and driveways and porches well lit. This is the easiest shit you can do. Like, just make it so bad guys don't want to come to your house because it's fucking lit up. You've got signage, you've got lights, you've got motion sensing stuff. Trim your shrubs and trees near doors and windows. Don't give bad guys places to hide. Make sure it's wide open and easy. And that obviously depends on the terrain that you live in.
Or put the carriganas right by your windows.
What the hell are those?
Thorn bushes,
Oh, yeah, man.
rose bushes,
Rosemary, anything
carriganas,
thorny,
hawthorn,
people don't
whatever.
fucking deal with
people
that.
don't want to deal with it.
Home security systems are far more accessible and affordable than they've ever been. Install a monitored alarm system with doors and window sensors. If you can afford that, there's lots of providers out there. Or you can actually do your own. It's DIY these days. Place visible signage, stickers, warnings of the alarm system. It's always, this house is protected by Acme fucking alarm or whatever. Like, have that shit there. Ensure cameras cover entrances, driveways, and blind spots. And dummy cameras are good too.
Yeah.
Right? Once they see cameras, even if you like, okay, I got one or two real ones covering my front, my back, I'll just throw up some fucking dummies. You can get them on Amazon. And that's just, It's just an added level of deterrent. So we're still passive. Your threshold hasn't been broken yet, but alarms are big time. That door kicks open and a fucking very audible alarm goes off. You know, that's going to be one of your best friends. Okay, habits. Here's the big thing I learned in my previous career. One of the big things, and you know the shit too in your previous careers. We are creatures of habit, which in this case will work against you. So I'm going to run through this and we'll talk about it. Always lock your doors and windows, even when you're home. Okay,
Absolutely.
right? It's not like the 80s where everybody's door was open and people just walked into their houses.
Lock your door as soon as you go in.
My shit's locked unless I know people are coming over.
For sure. My kids, you know, they were coming in from someplace. They are in the habit. They just turn around, lock the door, and
Good.
then they lock me out. So now I got to put in the code, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Don't apologize."
It's a good
That's
habit.
fine. That's what
good
I want.
habit, right? It takes 4 seconds.
I know how to open it. It's okay
to get in there. Don't leave spare keys under mats or in obvious spots, like the little rock that you can buy at fucking Home Depot, the fake rock, and it's sitting on your porch in the most unnatural spot ever.
And it looks so fake.
It looks
too.
so obvious. Like
come
don't do that. I don't even have house keys. I've had keypads forever. I couldn't even tell you where my house keys are. We talked about this. Use timers for lights, TVs, radios. Like have your shit go on at different times that makes it look like someone's there. That makes noise. Noise and light are the enemy of bad guys. They want all dark. Like they don't want no noise, no light, unless they're fucking crazy and kick your door in, which that's still a thing.
It happens.
Doesn't matter. Like Buddy was sitting at home with his old lady watching a movie, and these fuckheads came in because they wanted pot because they knew his kid. Avoid posting. This is the worst one. Avoid posting vacation plans on social media. I'm going to the Dominican. Bye-bye. Fucking house is wide open. Don't worry about it. Save that shit for later unless you got somebody back at home. The minute you post shit on social media, you're just telling people I'm a target.
Home Alone all over
Home
again.
Alone. Yeah, I forgot my kid at home, but he's got a paint can and some marbles. Don't fuck with him. Have a neighbor collect your mail. I know both my neighbors. Good dudes.
Packages too.
Yeah. So don't leave your Amazon shit out. The more shit piles up. You don't leave any indicators you're not home. And be environmentally aware. You know which cars don't belong in your neighborhood. They busted a stolen car ring in this cul-de-sac up there. We were like, where the fuck are all these cars parked up in here? There's some assholes stealing cars and parking them here.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
I've seen that before, like in my neighborhood. I've seen cars, people sitting in them, and if I don't recognize the car, I don't even care anymore. I just walk right up and just like, knock, knock, knock. I say that. I'm like, you got business here?
Yep.
And they're intimidated, and they just go away.
I was going to say, don't be afraid to be unpolite or impolite, whatever.
No.
People think about
100%.
that. It's like, just, watch your neighborhood. If you should know who generally frequents that. You see some other assholes who are there, put it on them. I seen my neighbor had some guests from out of town during the Fringe, and he was just skulking in the walkway between the two houses. And I put it right on. I pulled up, and it's like, hey, you got a problem? What do you need here? What are you doing? Well, I'm sorry. I'm like, what are you doing? Well, I'm staying here. Like, who lives there? And then he was able to tell me, her name. I'm like, okay, fair.
No, but that's you're right. Don't be afraid to be impolite and go, like, if you recognize something, if you live in your neighborhood long enough, like I have, I got a fucking pretty good idea who's who.
For sure.
And I know everybody's car, because I make it mental notes, which you should do. Make mental notes of be environmentally aware is what I'm trying to say. If you see vehicles that fucking don't belong there or showing up at weird times of the night or driving through and then leaving and coming back, be paranoid. You have nothing to lose by being paranoid. Don't be stupid paranoid until you got crazy guy down the road. This guy. But be aware. Community awareness. I guess that's what we're talking about. Build a relationship with your neighbors who can watch your property. Yep. Join or start your neighborhood watch group. I don't know if that's a thing anymore. I hope it is. It should be. Especially as shit ramps up. That's just a matter of going to your fucking neighbors and going, hey man, I want to build something. I don't know if neighborhood watch is a thing. It used to be.
For sure, it used to be. And nowadays, I guess, some neighborhoods, some communities have, community social media page, and people are, hey, watch out for this. Hey, my car got broke into last night.
And that happened during COVID when the crazies were coming. The freaks come out at night, and they fucking did.
For sure.
So if you can't,
we're out.
If you don't have a community watch program, get a hold of your community league or whatever, and like get part of that and be part of that, right?
Or just at least let your neighbors know, everybody know that
Yeah.
you're an asshole.
Or yeah,
And you're not afraid to punch somebody in the mouth.
Exactly. Have all your neighbors tell all their friends that you're the biggest
Yeah,
dick in your
that guy's a
block,
dick.
and they won't come in your.
Exactly.
And he's got no money. All his shit's on loan.
10
But
people to
That
carry it.
guy's sitting at home hoping you're going to break into his
Like,
house.
get rid of this
Please
shit.
take this.
But seriously, yeah, like get to know your neighbors
Yeah.
is the short version, and take care of each other. That's probably the easiest thing you can do if there's no neighborhood watch. You should be doing that. Advanced measures is kind of a weird word, but install door security bars and jammers at night. This is getting a little heavy, but maybe your environment, fucking says you need to do this.
Why not?
Why not? Use smart locks with access logs.
Yeah, don't get cheap ones.
No.
They could be hacked out.
Designate a safe room or an RV for your family with a phone to call authorities. Here's a big one.
Safe room, from that movie 13 Hours, where the
Yeah.
U.S. ambassador
Well,
went,
he's
like
got
the safe room,
fucking TVs
Yeah,
and shit
yeah.
and
right?
guns.
And then they smoked him out and he died anyway.
Yeah.
in a safe room.
Teach
Yeah.
family members
Safe
what
rooms.
to do in case of a break-in. No, this is what I really want to talk about. This is all encompassing. This is kind of like the last big one before we get into use of force, and that's where shit's going to kick off with these two cats. If you have a couple kids and a wife, whatever, that's your typical dynamic. If you decide you're going to have an egress plan, make sure your family knows the layout of your home. In the military, we call it actions on drills. So actions on, the alarm goes off. What do you want your kid to do? So you're reaching for your golf club, baseball bat, or fucking Sig Sauer 226, whatever it might be. What's your family supposed to do when shit goes sideways? That's very important. Where do they go? What do they do? And that depends on the layout of your house. This goes back to the layout of your dwelling, your type of dwelling. Are you in an apartment building? Are you on an acreage? Like, you need to come up with a plan. And my advice is, if you're going to be the one who's going to go engage, your family doesn't need to be part of that. So you need to figure out how to fucking get them not there. That'll be completely dependent upon your physical surroundings, your environment, right? Like here, I got a problem, right? Because I got 2 bedrooms up. Let's say I had kids and a wife. We're upstairs. I got a fatal funnel going down. It's like, you're going to go into the bathroom or to the closet. You're going to stay here until you don't hear fucking bullets anymore or whatever it is, right? So you need, anyways, the point is, you need to have a plan. I can't tell you that plan because everybody's circumstance is going to be different. But you need to have some kind of plan, action on drills, so that your family clearly understands that. And don't be afraid to do drills. No. Like, it sounds a little crazy, I know. In the States, they got active shooter drills in schools and shit, which is sad. But it is what it is. Don't be afraid to exercise, right? Like, if you have a plan, run a drill, make sure your family knows what to do. Because the last thing, if you decide, hey, I'm going to get kinetic, and then as shit goes, it's on, and your family's not doing what you planned for them to do, now you got a problem, because now you have a collateral damage issue or hostage situation or whatever. So they need to be dialed into the plan. If it's just you, single rat like I am, fucking game on.
Fucking
let it fly.
Weapons free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Weapons free. We're back. Get into our last segment, the one everybody's been waiting for, self-defense. And I refer you back to the law. I'm not reading it. Read Section 34. Understand you will be charged and you will go to jail. And the courts are going to decide whether your response to self-defense is justified or not.
Yeah, you'll probably hang.
Fucking.
Well, even if you don't, the process is the punishment. Because it's going to be years. You're going to get
minimums. Like Buddy in that case that was 6 months in jail, and then
that's a good case.
That is
really
a very good case. That's the way it is. So you need to be able to accept that. Now, this last piece, this is going to be the funnest one. Take into account everything I said before. Your personal situation about your level of fitness, any disabilities you might have, whatever, your social and economical situation in your neighborhood, the layout of your home, all those passive things we discussed, but it comes down to one last thing. And then this is probably the most important part of this conversation is all those things aside, there may be, hopefully not, hopefully you've done enough to minimize this situation where you're committed to a kinetic response to a threat. And when I use the word kinetic, it's not really a military term, but we use it a lot. You're going to engage in physical violence against an assailant that's breaking into your house. And this is not, I'm not on eggshells on this conversation. This is fucking important. I believe in the American version of castle doctrine, castle law.
For sure. And
then you have the right to defend your home and your property. Well, properties, defend your home and your family. I'm going to say that. So you cross that threshold, you made a commitment. And to me, on my side of the threshold, is I have to assume
the worst,
and it's violence. I don't know if you're a fucking tweaker or whatever you are. I don't know that.
Nor do I care.
Nor do I care. So I'm going to use any and all means necessary to defend myself and my family and all the training that the Canadian fucking Armed Forces ever gave me. And that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I'm going to come at you with extreme prejudice.
Yeah, extreme prejudice is the correct word. It really is. So that's just us. That's not everybody, right? So not everybody is in that situation. This last bit is about basically use of force. So what the government says, what the Canadian law says is you're allowed to use reasonable force.
You got to remember, these laws were written by pencil necks that have never been in harm's way in their life.
And this is why I switched to rye.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. Like they always say,
and none of them can agree.
No, refer to the experts. I'm like, oh yeah, when's the last time you were in harm's way? So how do you know what reasonable force is when you've never had to use any force in your life?
So the government, so the courts use 9 line items in the criminal code. You can read it to determine whether it was self-defense or not. You don't have fucking time to process these 9 items, and nor should you have to worry about that shit. You shouldn't have to worry about the court system and the justice system. You should be able to defend yourself, and that's the hot topic in the news today.
Unfortunately, it's a topic because there's been just an avalanche of this stuff happening lately.
But so I was going to save this quote for last, but it's going to be now it's not last. Now it's going to be the predecessor to the balance of this conversation. It was an old saying in the Army. You've heard this before. Yes. I know you have. Would you rather be judged by 12 or marched or carried out by 6? A jury is made up of 12 people. Pallbearers are made up of 6 to 8. You take your fucking pick.
The other thing too, if you are going to come at somebody, if you are going to kill somebody in your home because they've crossed that threshold, I mean, you have to be able to mentally deal with that after the fact as well. And some people are going to deal with it better than others. It's not necessarily an easy thing to do, despite what Hollywood might lead you to believe.
Yeah.
So those are other things too. Like, if you are going to send somebody to meet their maker, can you handle that? And are you comfortable with doing that? Because I know that if I do that, I got no problem. When it's time for me to meet my maker, I'll stand before God and I got no problem saying, I did that, with a righteous heart. Not a problem.
That's actually an interesting point. But before that even happens, we haven't talked about fight or flight.
Or freeze.
Or
freeze.
Well, that's the same shit.
Or freeze. Right?
Flight or freeze.
You're gonna run. You're gonna fight. You're gonna just panic.
So what that means is, and you don't know till you know. And I've had to live through it. I can't speak to anybody else at this table. In Afghanistan, I hit my fight or flight moment. I'm not gonna lie. I froze for what felt like fucking hours. It was probably like seconds. Mm-hmm. And then there's that little warrant officer part of your brain and goes, fucking get up, do this. And what that means is you could buy 100 guns. You can go get your black badge qualification, do all these fucking courses and shit. And you can go to the range forever and ever and ever and ever. But you're never going to know until it's real. Are you going to freeze or are you going to fucking engage? And there's no answer to that question because it's all on an individual basis. So let's assume you're going to go. If you freeze, hopefully you have that plan B panic room where your family hunkers down and let the tweakers steal your shit and fuck off. Like, that's the best case scenario. Again, ideally, before we get into this, get the fuck out of your house. Any opportunity to egress. All right. But if you can't egress because you're bottlenecked, then you got what we call a fatal funnel. Like, you just can't get out. Like, there's no scenario on earth where you can't get out of your house without going through the bad guys. Now we're going to get into how you deal with that. Again, self-assessment. Am I trained in unarmed combat? Or am I a big guy who could fight in a fucking bar? Whatever. Are you willing and capable of smashing your way through? Okay. Escalation. Are they armed? You should assume they're armed.
Well,
Absolutely.
and you definitely should. And,
Right?
and not only can you smash your way through it and get out, but if you've got a family, can you just get out and leave them behind? No.
No.
You
So that's
So
that,
you're
again,
going to
that
have
dynamic.
a sustained engagement with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're trying to create a means of egress for your family.
Uh-huh.
Right? And that's a fucking lot. Is
Well,
it,
you
and
need
how
to
many
end-
guys is it? Is it one guy, 2, 3,
Four.
4? Like, all these things, and you have to make these decisions in fucking milliseconds. So this is the part we're going to get into, and it's controversial, but I don't give a shit because I believe in it, and you guys believe in it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Because this is what everybody's been waiting for. I get all these guys. We talked about this downstairs. What gun should I get? I'm like, you fucking shouldn't get a gun at all.
Or like I said earlier, I was like, if you don't have a gun by now,
You probably shouldn't have.
yeah,
one.
don't even worry about it, man.
The last
don't
thing,
even worry about it.
So we're going to caveat this, or I'm going to caveat this, is unless you're a fucking very well-trained person with a firearm, don't go there, because we're going to talk about the collateral of this. It's a fucking huge risk to your family if you're not competently trained, meaning you need to be able to walk around with a weapon like it's a fucking, what did you say? A hammer hanging off a tool belt from a carpenter. Like,
Yeah, because that was like
it's like that.
Well, I said that before. Yeah, I said
Yeah.
that was our trade. Our tool belt was a C8 and a Browning high power. So
yeah,
I'm very comfortable to walk around with a loaded pistol
in a 3D environment, not on
Yeah.
a range. Like most people, like most of the civvy gun owners I know, they have a gun. They go to the range. They're static. They're standing in one position, very controlled environment, and they're blasting away at paper. So suddenly the alarm kicks off. Here's a scenario. You wake up, your gun's by your bed, probably illegally stored.
Yeah,
So
probably not, because you're storing it legally,
yeah.
aside from your
right. So
your
understand gun storage
ammo.
laws, because they'll
Yeah,
ping you with that
absolutely.
too, right? They'll nail you with that. And then it's fucking dark. You got a kid's room over there, a kid's room over there. The kids are freaking the fuck out. Your dog's flipping out. There's a bunch of shit going on downstairs, and you're gonna start shooting. Okay, your 9mm or whatever, most calibers are gonna fucking penetrate that drywall. You're putting your family at risk unless you know what you're doing. So you can have a baseball bat, a golf club, a knife. I get sick to my stomach. I don't want to bludgeon anybody. I just don't, man.
It's very
I
personal.
would.
Same with a knife. It's very
Yeah,
intimate.
you're
That's
getting
an
in
intimate
there.
way
So
to get into
that's
it, man.
Yeah, if you don't have the heart like to shoot somebody, I'm telling you right now, you do not have the heart to bludgeon somebody or stab somebody to death and watch the life drain out of them. Like
Army guys who've been deployed. Some of us have put the rounds down range on bad guys at 50 to 300 meters or fucking 1800, whatever he did. But I'm like, I don't want to fucking beat somebody with a stick.
I want as much standoff as possible.
No, I want to standoff as
talking,
your friend.
You're
man.
talking to Mr. Standoff here. I mean, I'll get as far away as I can.
This is that precarious decision. Like, if you really feel like, I'm not going to tell you to go buy a fucking samurai sword, a Louisville slugger, or the Rambo knife or whatever. Like, I can't even speak to those weapons because they're not the tools I would use to deal with a threat. I'm going to speak to the tools I would deal with the threat with. And I'm not encouraging anybody by any means to do this. I'm just saying, I know everybody's going to want to know. So they're like, what's the best weapon? And we're talking firearms now, okay, to use in a self-defense situation. And my answer is always the same. It depends on your situation. Like, on one hand, the pros of a shotgun is wide pattern. It's point and click interface. Easy. The cons to a shotgun is very loud and because the wide pattern can create collateral damage if you have a dog.
Not to mention, I mean, it's a heavy recoiling weapon system.
Yeah,
So
it's slow reload, and unless you have like a TAC one, like I got a 12-inch barrel on my fucking Turkish made thing, it's not easy to wield in a confined area. If you're talking grandpa's fucking 870 Wingmaster, which I have, my grandpa's 870. This fucking thing is too big.
Barrel.
Yeah, man. It's for ducks. It's not for fucking CQB. Right? So it's not the best system. Pistol, I'll tell you right now, unless you've dealt with adrenaline is a two-way street. It's got its advantages, but I think most of it's negative. If you've ever been adrenalized, it creates tunnel vision. It creates acute vision, though. Like, you see way better, but it gets tunnel vision. But you start to vibrate, or at least I do. And, adrenaline affects everybody a little bit differently. And a pistol is the most inaccurate fucking thing, unless you're well-trained and have practiced and practiced and practiced. Some asshole who fucking did a 2-day course and goes and buys a pistol and thinks that's their optimum home defense system, you're wrong. Because when you miss, those rounds are going through walls that your family might be on the other side. If it's a pistol, if you're fortunate enough to still own one, just become competent with that system.
Not to mention, like, with Canadian gun laws and like restricted versus non-restricted. I mean, I don't know all the laws behind it, but the fact that it's a restricted weapon and it's only supposed to be shot on the range,
storage laws,
blah blah blah, and storage laws, because the storage laws are even more strict for restricted weapons.
They are.
If you're going to go to a pistol, I'm like, buddy, like that now from a legal standpoint, and what's the what are the judges going to say? What are the police going to say? Like, for me, I would absolutely stay away from any type of restricted firearm in Canada.
Yeah,
in a defensive situation.
There's a ton
it just seems like it's just another rabbit hole, and it's just more trouble and more of a pain in your ass and more time in the criminal justice system.
It is.
Well, I guarantee it'll hang you, because they'll tell you, hey, if you had time to go and unlock all of that stuff, you had time to do something else and be out of there.
100%, man. Like, they're not on your fucking side.
No.
Right?
Yeah, we're not Americans. You're not allowed.
I think they are, but they have to follow the law. So whether they agree with it or not, that's the way it is.
Sure.
So you're now the victim of shitty laws.
Yeah.
I'm not getting into that. We're not here to tell you what the best fucking gun is.
No, I said at the end of the day, you need to know the law or to the best of your ability, because it's very
big.
It's very big, and it's very, like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. So,
no, but,
I mean, some lawyer can twist it any which way they want, bend a law
more than that,
for or against me.
If here's my fucking advice, because we could talk about this for 16 more hours, but we're not gonna. First of all, if you feel like it's gonna be, you got to have a gun. Pick the gun that's right for you, based on your environment. We've given you some thoughts on that. Consider your environment. Do I have a family? Do I have pets? Like, to me, I had a GSG 15 from Cabela's. It was a 22 caliber, looked like an MP5, put a cheap red dot on it. Very quiet, very fast, very accurate, and it'll do the job, and it'll minimize collateral damage, and it won't make a bunch of fucking noise. Whatever you pick, whether it's a fucking Samurai Sword or a Louisville Slugger or a Rambo knife, Sig Sauer P226, whatever, an AR-15, also not that great unless you got a.
I disagree. Carry on.
No, no, it is if you know how to use it. Be competent in the weapon. Go take training. Chris, what's some of these courses these guys can go take?
Be competent in whatever you're going to do.
Whether it's
a firearm
right.
or
a fucking bat,
empty hand, or a bat, or a knife, whatever. Be competent in that.
Yeah,
you can still get training in Silver Corps in Vancouver.
And what is that?
Several levels.
Explain that to the layman.
So Silver Corps is a firearms training spot. They do all kinds of outdoor stuff, but for this purposes, they have 3-4 levels of pistol training.
Okay.
You can still go down to places like Tactic MT in Montana, and they'll rent you the firearms, whether it's an AR or a pistol,
and get you
or
fucking
whatever.
sorted out.
Yeah, well, I mean, the guy that runs that is Chris Forrest. He's a former SEAL.
Yeah.
So they'll sort you out, and you can get the training. Agoge Tactical used to be a great place, but unfortunately, Jody shut it down. In Canada, it's coming few and far between.
There are options. Find them. If you
Mhm.
really feel like you need to go to the gun, just be competent and like just get trained on it and put time into it. Otherwise, it's a fucking detriment to your.
For sure.
Absolutely. Well, that I mean, you can apply to anything in life, like riding a motorcycle,
Everything.
get training.
Sure it is.
If you're,
Right.
you know, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're gonna, if you want to fist fight people, well, you should probably learn, you should probably learn how to box. You should probably learn some type of mixed martial arts. Like,
Yeah.
So I mean, you can apply to anywhere in life, and a firearm is you don't just pick up a firearm and become John Wick. Like it doesn't work like that. Whether it's martial arts, riding a motorcycle, learning classical piano, you got to, you have to train.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna wrap this up. We might do a part 2. I'm gonna see what the feedback looks like. I want to appreciate you guys for being here. I'm gonna leave you with this. Take into account everything we said. I know it's kind of abbreviated. There's a million other fucking pods that talk about all this shit. If you are not up to the criteria to engage, or you have the means to not have to engage, it's just materials. Get your family out, especially if you got a family. If you're alone, dude, you're fit, and you want to get it on, that's up to you. If you have means of egress, just get out of there, right? It just minimizes any threat and risk to your family. Your best weapon is right here. You hit 911, you put it on speaker, you put that between yourself and the fucking threat so they can hear it, you can hear it, and you stay on the phone and explain everything that's going on. That is your best option. That being said, I'm going to flip the coin now. When the cops take fucking minutes or more and you have seconds, figure it out. You have to be able to respond. How you get there, we've given you a bit of a roadmap. Not all the tools. This isn't a fucking show about how to shoot guns and shit.
No, we definitely give you a bit of food for thought, though.
Food for thought. That's all this is meant to be, because it's a popular topic right now, and it feels like these home invasions and shit are on the rise. So this is more of an awareness pod. If you like what you heard and you want more detail, hit it in the comments, and we'll reconvene this and do a deeper dive into the materials. This is just a fucking toes in the water intro to what it is, covering a few things that you need, checklists, if you will, that you guys need to think about. But I'm more than willing to continue the conversation. Last rounds, good.
All good.
All good. Like you said, at the end of the day, every single person has to make their decision.
Yeah,
It comes down to you.
It's on you. Your takeaways are this: 1, understand the law, good, bad, or ugly. 2, understand your environment, the layout of your home, where you live, all that shit we talked about. 3, understand your capabilities as an individual. And then 4, understand how, if you have the parts, the fight or flight thing, what are you going to do? And with that said, we're out.